Singapore 345, wind 250 degrees, 2 knots, runway 16, clear for takeoff.
Runway 16, clear for takeoff, Singapore 345.
I guess Amit sir has joined us, and I would like to I invite Amit sir to speak about his aviation life.
Thank you.
Good morning, friends. My name is Amit Kharbanda. I've been in aviation for more than now 30 years, and I've been working as aircraft maintenance engineers also for almost 27 years now. I've worked with various airlines, Modi Luft, British Airways, and Jet Airways. And I started my career as a trainee somewhere in 1991, and today is 2021, and still working as a lead engineer for Boeing 777s. I also have a qualification on Boeing 737, full 737 series, as well as I work for A350s also for our customer airlines, Singapore Airways. See, to be in aviation, you need to have a passion. Passion is something which drives you to be a part of aviation. If you have the passion, in fact, to join something, you need a passion. And if you have that passion, you can do wonders. And for aviation, why I said you need a passion? Because sky is the limit. You can do wonders in aviation, especially if you being a part of engineering or if you being a part of flight crew. Both of that, flying as well as engineering, they are one of the hardest and one of the toughest profession right now in aviation, because they need your dedication, they need your hard work, they need your 100%, because it involves safety. There are two correlations between safety, hard work, as well as what humans are involved in aviation. I mean to say human factors. So let's start with why safety is important in aviation. Safety always comes whenever you are being an aviation professional. Safety always comes first. Why I'm saying safety always comes first? Because it involves human lives, precious human life. In day-to-day modern aircrafts, you have hundreds of people traveling by air, and they have your trust. Since as an engineer, if you're signing an aircraft, if you're working on aircraft, they trust you. They believe in you, that somebody who has done the job and someone who is flying this aircraft, that person, that engineer, he has done his job best to his abilities, best to his capabilities, and best to his knowledge. So since lives are involved, it becomes more important that we should be careful about safety. In case, let's say, if you are not maintaining, if you are not following proper standards, proper safety management culture, what will happen? There is a loss of property, loss of human life, as I said, loss of property, loss of aircraft, loss of assets, and as well as there comes a point when people don't trust you. They will not trust you. There's so much of competition in the market right now. And if any airline, they don't adhere to safety culture, people will stop traveling. With safety, there comes a better aviation, because safer practice has been followed. Then with safety, you don't compromise on the cost savings. You give better service experience to your passengers. You will give better services to your partners, whoever are dealing with you, you'll have less delays, and you have overall a good feeling that end of the day, whatever I did my job, and I'm proud that people are being taken care of while flying on those aircraft. They feel happy that they are flying in a safer environment, they are flying in a safer aircraft, and people will feel good about it, and they have higher expectations from you, and they may come back and they may want to be a part of an airline, or maybe they may be a part of that aviation group. So what are we doing for safety? For safety, we have now, when we started, safety was always there, but over the period of time, with technology, with aviation booming, with so many aircrafts coming in, with so many airlines coming in, there is a system which has been followed worldwide now, which has been called as safety management system, which has not been only been adopted by our regulators, DGCA. It has been adopted worldwide, and all the regulators, including EASA, FAA, whoever you name it, they have adopted those safety management resources system. But why do we need those systems? Do we really require those systems? Yes, we do. Because there are 4 main points, components in safety management system. What are the safety policies? How are we going to adhere to those policies? What are the safety risk management? What are the risks involved? Safety assurance. How can we assure our passengers that you are flying in a safe aircraft? You are being taken care by people who have been worked on those aircraft, who have been dedicated on the aircraft. And safety promotion. And how are we going to promote? See, end of the day, we all are human beings. I won't say that we are 100%. Definitely in aviation, people do make mistakes. But to improve from your mistakes, to work on your mistakes, and to make it safety, 100% safety proof is our motto. So, to come up with safety, there comes another angle, that is human factors. So safety and human factors in aviation goes line in line, hand in hand. And what are human factors? Human factors is basically the study of human capabilities and its limitations. So human factors basically involve 4 things. If you ask me in nutshell, what are the 4 things? It's just fear. How do I take it? Human factors is fear. P-E-A-R. Fear means people and their problems. E means the environment where you are working. A means your actions and the action of your employees or the organization where you are working for. And resources. What are the resources available to you? How well you are using those resources? How good you are at those resources? Whether you are using those resources to your 100%, or you need much more better resources. And with that resources come STAR. What does I mean by STAR is, whenever you're working as an aircraft maintenance engineer, or whenever you're working in an environment where engineering is being involved, especially for aircraft maintenance, I take it STAR as, whenever any job you're starting, let's say you are a new engineer or you are a qualified engineer and you want to work on an aircraft, always take these 4 things into consideration. STAR, S-T-A-R. STAR means first stop and pause. Second, T means think about the job before starting the job. A means act and do your work properly. And rest, review. Before signing off your sheets, before signing off your log off, before signing off your aircraft, review it. Whatever I've done to best of my abilities. His aircraft is safe to fly. I have not taken any kind of shortcuts. To make sure people, to make sure the flying crew, to make sure the cabin crew, and above all, to make sure whatever I have done, we have done as a teamwork, as an engineer, is it safe to release the aircraft? So these are the factors. That's why I always said human factors and safety always goes hand in hand. So human factors is very important because there are 10 to 11 things which you should always consider while taking human factors while being in an airline on plan. First of all is you should be confident about yourself. You should be confident about your team. Like, it's very important to have a good teamwork. If you have a good team, if you have a good resources at your hand, you can do wonders in aviation industries. Second thing is there should not be any lack of communication. If there is any kind of communication gap between your team and your team members, there might be chances that safety is being compromised. So make sure you have, even if you being a team leader, you should always take your team members into confidence. Even if they are giving you the slightest of advice, don't ignore it. Sometimes that advice, you can see, not only helps you to do a better job, that helps you to save a good amount of time also and good amount of money also. Third, distraction. See, distraction is a part of human being. But whenever you are working on the aircraft, you are working as a maintenance engineer, do not distract. If you are getting distracted, you can tell, okay, I need a break, take a break, analyze, and once you come back, give your 100%. Next is resources. Resources are very important, especially in aviation. If you don't have proper resources, it's difficult to work as an aircraft maintenance engineer. So you need good resources. Let's say you're working, aircraft is in a hangar, you're doing some kind of a check, or you are doing some critical job on the aircraft. You have to have a proper resources. Basic resources I'm talking about, like you should have good lighting, lights should be there. Then you should have proper tools to work on the aircraft. You should have proper manuals so that in case you need to refer, you should refer your maintenance manuals. You should maintenance wiring diagrams. You should able to see what exactly is required, what kind of parts you are required for that particular job. Then next is awareness. You should be well aware about the latest technologies, latest tools, latest kind of write-ups on that particular system, so that whatever job you are doing, you should be up to date. Then good knowledge. Good knowledge comes from not only by reading books, not only by reading technical literature, but how it is being done. What is the way to do it? Read the latest thing, watch latest episodes on the Discovery channels, accidents and incidents. So they give you the good detailed amount of knowledge in case any accident and incident have happened. Why did it happen? What was the reason behind it? Where did they go wrong? How can we improve it? So good knowledge is also very important. Then norms and procedures. Follow kind of norms are required, kind of procedures are required. Setting up a good, healthy safety culture in your organization. Then fatigue. Fatigue is one main thing. If you have not been sleeping well and you are on the job, you'll not able to perform your job to 100%. So you have to be very careful. Fatigue, pressure should not overcome you. In case you're not feeling good, tell your team leader, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling all right. There is a pressure. There is a distraction. So he is aware that this particular engineer or this particular guy is not feeling good. So he can allocate that job to somebody else, or he will give you some kind of rest. So these are certain things which are mandatory, very much required, being a part of aircraft maintenance engineer. That's it.
Thank you so much,
Thanks, Amit.
sir. Yes.
Wonderful hearing you, and a lot of good points you touched. And while we are a student, we might not be very familiar with some terms that all of us are speaking. But I assure you guys that if you, and I wish that you do, continue in this field, these terms that you're hearing today will be commonplace for you. It will be something that you will be exposed to on a daily basis. And like Amit rightly said, see the episodes of air crash investigations. Best learnings that I've had are from learning from unfortunate mistakes that have occurred, and they keep occurring. And the only way that the Murphy's law, anything that goes wrong can go wrong, will go wrong. Well, it's true, isn't it? You make the best airplane, and we will unfortunately find a flaw in a very tragic manner. So, but having said that, these things have these methods of learning have saved so many lives. It is not even funny. Please, if anybody has any question for Mr. Amit Kharbanda, he's 30 years in aviation, a lot of experience, and just go ahead and ask him. Anaga has a question. Anaga Balasubramanian, please go ahead. At least the hand is raised. Okay, so I'll go ahead and ask you, Amit, and maybe some people will agree. What are the best thing that you learned while you were training to be an aircraft engineer?
Dedication. Be 100% to your job. Give 100%.
Dedication.
Even if after 30 years in aviation, don't take anything on the face. What I mean to say is, even if you have done one job 100 times also, and you are doing 101 time, refer your books. Refer. Like we call aircraft maintenance manual as our Bible. Refer it. Don't be shy. Even if you don't know, if something you don't know, ask your superiors, ask your seniors, ask somebody who is done. But never ever shy away from asking. Have an open communication, have a good teamwork, and refer your manuals to the core. You will never get wrong. Never.
Absolutely. I've worked with Amit in Jet Airways, and I can tell you that whenever I took over an airplane which Amit had released, signed for, and I was so sure that the aircraft is in a airworthy condition, in a very good condition. So that gives me a lot of confidence that this is a good ship to take up and fly for 14 hours at a stretch over the seas, over high terrain, over areas that I would normally not want to fly over, but you got to. So that's what this is the best advice, actually. Dedication. Thank you very much, Amit. And if anybody has any question, he's here. Please ask him. Yes, Sindhu, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question to Amit sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So what skills do you think are the most important for maintenance engineer?
First, you should have a lot of patience. First, patience is key for any maintenance engineer. Even if you are doing job, even if you know you have deadlines to meet, don't take shortcuts. If you take shortcuts, there you will save time, but you don't know what is going to happen in flight. So till the time you are not 100% sure, never ever release your aircraft. Never ever take shortcut in aviation, at least in engineering. Give your 100%, results will be good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experience with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Amit.
Thank you, buddy.
Wonderful, happy New Year speaking to all of us. I'm sure
My
everybody
pleasure.
was.
My pleasure. Wishing all you guys all the best. Hopefully, you have safe flights all the time whenever you become engineer, pilots, whatever. India needs a lot of them, and I wish my best to all of you and all the good wishes. Thank you so much for having me on board. Thank you.
Thanks, Amit.